really exciting. We have a new product for international credit checks. This has always been a challenge, especially for the people that have more experience. If you've got someone that's new to the country, a new Canadian, they've applied, they're typically have no history. And then you're trying to make a decision with less information. It's difficult. Unfortunately, what's probably happening out there a lot is the new Canadians, they're probably offering you a sum of money up front. I believe, and I know in most provinces it's illegal, and unfortunately, but it still happens. So what this tool will allow you guys to do is it will allow, and you can give the tenant the choice to pay for this as well. And again, we can show that on the purchase flow, but it allows the tenant to bring their credit score from the home country. We do about 15 to 20 countries. It's in and around there. And we cover 80% of all new Canadian applications. So there's a really good chance that we've got the person that's applying a rental, if they've just come to Canada, maybe they've got a Canadian work permit, that you're going to be able to pull their credit history and allow them to bring that context of their financial history with them from their home country. So because we have so many different countries, so many different monetary systems, the credit scores are just as unique as the countries themselves. So what we've done is we've partnered with a third party called Nova Credit, and they've standardized the credit scores from all these different countries to follow a similar format that we use here in North America. So if you've seen an Equifax or a TransUnion credit score, where it's that range from 350 to 850, then we're going to see a similar kind of scoring system here. So we'll quickly go into it. We got a bit of basic information, the name of the individual, their birth date, their home country, their city. It's kind of all listed across the top here. And of course, the date that the report was generated. You want to make sure this is recent, within the last 30 to 45 days. Obviously, looking at older financial information, things can happen and change. And now you get the credit score. Important to know about the credit score is it's just a single snapshot in time. So it's great to see where they are. It's a quick kind of metric to look at, but it's not indicative of whether the tenant is always financially stable. And what I mean by that is you might have situations where tenants have gone through a life event, perhaps divorce, job loss, something like that, where they might have external factors affecting their credit score. And then in that case, you might have an opportunity, you might have a really good tenant who's going to be extra grateful that you've selected them, that might not have the best credit score because of some of these external factors, but still have good financial habits. And those are really good tenants you want to get because they make for a great tenancy. They're grateful, and it kind of starts that relationship off a good foot. So kind of gives you the range here. And also they've got in these score codes are generally just additional things that you need to be aware of. When you go through and do your due diligence, the expectation is you're going to go through the whole report from start to finish. This is just kind of giving you a place that, hey, make sure you focus in and review these areas specifically. And then we get into some basic metrics here. So we've got utilization of the available credit this person has. If they've got between all their different financial products, say car loans, student loans, credit cards, if all the available balance, let's say it's 100,000 for simple numbers, this will let us know how much of the utilization that they're using. So obviously the higher this number gets, the more leverage they are, something to be aware of. The next thing is age of oldest trade lines. This is a great indicator because the longer they've had a credit card or other financial products, it shows a better track record. Number of products too. You should expect for someone that is of an adult age, especially as the older they get, you should see a number of products here. It's pretty hard these days to live without any financial products. And then of course, inquiries over the last 6 months. Inquiries, if you see a lot of them, could be indicative. It could be a red flag. They could be seen as credit hungry. Not always the case, but again, we're taking all these different data points and trying to paint a financial picture. So what's important is not one single data point should be a deciding factor. It's how these data points fit together is what you're looking for as you're reviewing these reports. Okay, so we'll get through. There's some other kind of information here as well. But really, the key thing in these reports when you're diving into is looking at the individual trade line. So every trade line is a financial product. A trade line could be a credit score, could be student loan, car loan, mortgage, revolving line of credit. So perhaps, which is also still a credit card, but also could be like a line of credit that's unsecured. And then, so you're gonna get some basic information about it. And this is kind of the bread and butter of the report. You're gonna get a payment history. So generally, you're gonna wanna see these green circles across the board. That means they've paid everything on time. And if you scroll through the report quickly, or as you go through it and you see all these green dots, then we're in a good position here. And that's what you want to see. The date that was last open, I think on this sample report, and just keep in mind that this is a sample report. It's auto-generated with fictitious information. So it's not always as, say, realistic to an individual. So yeah, here's a student loan right here. It's $16,000, almost $17,000. The balance is 0. So this loan is now paid off. It's no longer active. We should see something similar to it. Inactive state here. And so you're just kind of looking through all these data points, making sure it kind of makes sense. What else we've got here? We've got some more different loans. The number of inquiries, we've kind of already talked about this, but if you see a bunch of inquiries over a smaller period of time, perhaps 1 or 2 months, maybe they're shopping for a car or doing a big financial purchase. And of course, they're shopping around for the best rate. That's totally normal. Where something you might want to be a little bit more aware of or looking for is when you see continuous number of inquiries that don't have any pattern, and especially if it goes back over a longer period of time, that would be where it's worth following up with the applicant or the prospective tenant to inquire what's going on and see if they've got a reasonable explanation to explain what you're seeing. And the last part of the report here is, of course, they've got their reported addresses from the country they're from. And then we've just got some information on the report. This basically will kind of summarize in this section the different credit bureaus depending on what country the individual's from. And that's basically it. So it's pretty streamlined. It's to the point, really. The trade lines are the meat and potatoes of what you're looking for. And another thing too to understand about credit scores is even through Equifax and TransUnion, which are our 2 main bureaus here in North America, they have many different credit scores. So the credit score you might be able to pull through your bank account, the one you can pull from Borrowwell or Credit Karma, even if they're all from the same source, if it's TransUnion or Equifax, they still could definitely vary because each of those bureaus offers many different products. And what that means is a business will go and request a credit score. They might value certain parts of the credit score as more important and they'll weight it higher, which is where I will see these different credit scores. So it's more of a ballpark kind of quick test of seeing where someone's at as opposed to being a make it or break it decision.